Ooh, I feel like a sexy, nerdy little teacher here today. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Today, we are going to be talking about the 3 common fears holding you back. I am not immune to this, okay? I sometimes still have these fears creep up, so this is constant lifetime work, keeping your fears in check so that you can continue to work towards your goals, manifest with more ease, and just feel more empowered about the day-to-day decisions that you are making. That first fear that most people usually experience is going to be a fear of failure. That fear that can really paralyze you and prevent you from taking the first step, from taking action, and from trying new things. And this often stems from a fear of what other people are going to think, right? If you fail, people are going to think like, you're weak or you're not good enough. You may also just be hard on yourself because, you think, well, I'm not good enough. If I wasn't able to be successful at that, then I probably shouldn't try anything else again, or even try, continue pushing forward and see if there's a better way to achieve the same thing I wanted, that I initially set out to do. So overcoming this fear is really going to take you understanding that failure is a natural part of life, right? We are all going to fail in some way or another. And I think the best way to overcome that fear of failure is to remember that it's better to have tried than to not have tried at all, right? If you don't take that chance and that risk, is the cost of not taking that chance greater than you have actually taken that chance and then failed at it? And even if you fail at something, you can always try again. You can always do things a different way. You can always find support from someone else who's done it and has been able to do it so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. This is actually a big reason why I love coaching, and I really recommend, I'm not recommending coaching because I'm a coach, but I've also worked with other coaches as well as a coach. And I think it's crucial and so important because to see someone else doing what you want to do and doing it successfully gives you better results. One, you're more confident because, of course, there's some trust there to have to work with a coach. 2, they've done it before, so they have the skills, they have certain skills, knowledge, wisdom, strategies that you may not have access to, but once you work with them, now you have access to it. And 3, you just have that mental support, right? Going after anything in your life can be challenging because of these said fears. And so having someone to back you, to show you where your gifts are and your talents and your strengths, and to play to those strengths can help you get farther than you'll probably ever get to on your own. So you cannot be afraid of failure. Everyone in their lives have failed. If anyone says they've never failed at anything, they're obviously not human. Like, point blank period. Everyone's had to fail at something. The second fear, most common fear that I see with my clients and just in general is the fear of rejection. This shows up a lot with my clients when they have to do social media. Even for myself at first, like I remember making my first YouTube video actually, and I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, like what are people gonna think? What if I, put it out there and someone gets upset about what I said? Or like, even in dating, it's like sometimes we're afraid to put ourselves out there because we're gonna get hurt again. So it could be a lot of different reasons, and rejection can show up in different ways. But of course, rejection hurts because we wanna feel like we belong. We wanna feel like we're appreciated and that we are liked and that our actions and behaviors are constantly being approved by others that are deemed important to us. And if we don't get that sort of support or admiration, it can really break us, right? Because then we feel like, well, it's a reflection of me. Like, I'm not good. I'm not capable. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not all of these things we start to come up with, right? Now we have these mindset blocks because of this initial fear. And so I think overcoming this fear really involves building self-confidence, and that's just personal work that you're gonna have to do on your own or through, a professional like a coach or a therapist. And really get to a place where you're so confident about yourself and so resilient in understanding that rejection is a part of life and that not everyone is gonna like you, not everyone is gonna approve of you, but you need to do what's right for you. Once you get to a place where like other people's opinions do not matter, I think it's easier to deal with rejection, right? I'm not saying you'll never have this slight fear of rejection, but it will become easier over time. And you won't allow other people's thoughts of you to stop you from doing the things that you want to set out and achieve. Then the third fear that I most often see with my clients and just in the real world and just from personal experience is, oddly enough, the fear of success. You know, sometimes my mom talks to me about why she doesn't want to be a manager. My mom is amazing at what she does. Every job she has, she's always like getting the like MVP of the month or like best worker for her organization. She's a very strong, independent, and hardworking woman, right? And she could probably be making way more money. She could probably be in a higher senior level role, management, but one, she's a bit shy and reserved, so she doesn't want to step into that role because she believes she's gonna have to show up more, which kind of coincides with like the fear of rejection. You know, you don't want to make mistakes in front of other people. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to fail in front of others. But two, she thinks that, you know, having a more senior role means it's gonna take more time, energy, work, and more responsibilities. And that may be true. But I think it depends on how passionate you are about that role as well. So you may be taking on more responsibilities, but then there's also a lot more perks that you get from it. And if you are someone that's able to well manage your time and organize yourself, it may not actually have to be as stressful as you think. And so I think sometimes we set ourselves up for failure by having a fear of success, thinking that, you know, if I become successful, if I start making six figures, if I'm rich, well then I'm gonna lose friends. People aren't gonna like me. I'm gonna hate myself. I'm gonna suffer in other areas of my life. And so subconsciously, you are going to undermine your own efforts in achieving said goals because you deem that having said goals makes your life more challenging. So overcoming this fear, I think, is just re-examining where you got this initial belief from, right? Like even like my mom thinking like that, I at one point started to think like that. Sometimes that idea still creeps up for me. But obviously I started my own business and that's way more work than any manager probably has to do, right? Because I have to be like so many departments all at one time. And honestly, I feel more in control, more confident, more at ease working for myself than I ever have working for other people. So that doesn't always mean that because you're taking on more responsibilities or you're moving up in a certain role that it's going to be more challenging and it's going to be harder. I think just setting realistic expectations, doing thorough research, understanding who you are and the environments and settings which allow you to thrive are going to be equally as important. And like I said, figuring all of this out, it's going to take a lot of personal work, mindset, limiting belief work in order to overcome these false narratives that we tell ourselves and to overcome these common fears that most likely are holding you back. Now, some solutions to this can more specifically look like practicing more mindfulness in your everyday life, doing a lot of self-reflection, whether that's journaling, talking to a friend, licensed doctors, therapists that can walk you through these limiting beliefs and ideas that you have about yourself and to sort of shift from more of a limiting mindset to one that's more empowered. So I talk and explore a lot more of these three fears and other ones that I haven't discussed in this video inside of my work, more specifically inside of the Wealth Well. This is like my main offering that I have as a coach that is broken down into different services. So I have my strategy call. It's like about an hour and a half long where we hop on a call, we focus on one goal and thing that you're trying to work on from point A to point B. How do we get there? Where you are, where you want to go, and what are the gaps? Then I have a course, a 12-week self-paced course you can take as well that talks and explores deeper into some of these limiting beliefs and these fears and mindset blocks that we all have. And then of course you can work with me one-on-one in a longer term container in my long-term coaching program. And if you want to learn more about those different services, definitely check out the description below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to see more, and click that little bell button so that you're notified when I drop a fresh new video, okay? Twice a week for the inevitable future until I change my mind, but you will be the first to know, that's for sure. Thanks for watching again, guys. See you in the next video.